Hello and welcome to the session on end-to-end execution of Selenium Java test cases. In this video, we will cover the basics on the use of web-page scan utility. We will understand how the annotations are stored and then generate some Selenium Java test cases followed by its execution on Eclipse. Now to start with, I have an empty project on Creator. I have created a project called Selenium E2E. In order to use web-page scan utility, right-click on the project, go to import and then select import web page scan option. So I will select this, click on next and then select the project where we need to perform the import. So I'm using Selenium E2E, click on next and then under URL field here, provide the URL of the page that we want to scan. So in this case, I'm going to scan Parabank Parasoft. So let me copy this and put it in the URL field. And by default, the structure diagram name will be web page scan import. However, if you want to provide a different name, we can do so. So let me put Parabank here and then click on next. Similarly, we need to provide the name of the page that we are trying to capture. So in this case, I'm using register. So I wrote register and then I click on scan button. Now, once the scan button is clicked, utility will open the URL in a new window and it will start scanning the objects that are visible here. So while the utility is scanning the objects, we are free to do any other activity. It does not hamper the scanning project. So I will let the tool scan some of the objects here, which are visible on the screen. Now, once the tool has scanned the objects, we will see the list of objects coming up here. Then depending on whatever we want to select, we can click on those objects and all those items will be selected. If we want to have all the objects, we can select all the checkboxes here and all the items will be appearing on the structure diagram. So for now, I have selected only few. Then after that, once I have selected the objects, I'll click on Save Element. And then we click on Finish. Now, as soon as the Finish button is clicked, under my model folder, the structure diagram will be created. So we can see here parabank.sd has been created. Now, if we go to this page, we will see the objects that we have selected, the checkboxes that we selected in the previous screen, all those objects are added to the structure diagram. So for example, I have selected customer first name, customer last name, and all those details. Let me show you on the UI. First name, last name, address, city, and all these things. So they are present in the structure diagram. Now, if we look into these objects, let me open it. All these objects are added along with its annotation. So for example, customer.firstname, I can see an XPath has been added for customer.firstname here. Similarly for customer.lastname, similarly for all the objects that are present. With this utility, each and every object is added along with its annotation. So this way, when I use these objects in my activity diagram, they're automation ready. So I'll show you how. Now, just to save some time, I have already created a project here where I have imported and saved all the objects through SD utility, and I've also created an activity diagram with those objects. So we close this project and I can show you from here. So this is the activity diagram that I have created. I'll quickly walk through what I have done in this flow. So in the first step, I have entered the URL, which is parabankparasoft.com. And then I have provided an event here. So one of the flow is going to the home page where I'm entering username and password. So let me go back here. I am on this page right now. So first I enter username and password and then I click on login button. So that's what this is doing. You enter username as test3, password is test3, and then I'm clicking on login button. In the other flow, I'm first clicking on register hyperlink. So I'm first clicking on register hyperlink and then I'm entering all these details and then clicking on register button. So that's what is happening here. I click on register hyperlink. I go to the form, enter all these details, and then I'm clicking on register button. So small flow that I have created. Now, let me generate the Selenium Java test cases for this flow. So the first step is that we need to add Selenium Java scripter under DC. That can be done through DC new scripting backend. And from here, we need to select Selenium Java scripter. So I've already selected, it's already presented my DC. Now let's generate the test cases. So click on load, generate, and export. Now, once the test cases are generated, in the project, you will see a new folder called test cases, under which we will have a Selenium Java folder. So in this folder, there's an SRC folder which has three more folders, which is page objects, test suites, and utilities. So page objects contain all the Java file. Test utilities, test suites contain all your test cases. And then utility contains all the common functions that we have that will be used across. So all we have to do is we need to copy paste this SRC folder from this to Selenium. So in Selenium, I have created a simple Java project. Right now, my SRC is empty here. So what I will do is I'll simply copy paste this to Selenium. So I will copy SRC, go to my Selenium, and paste it under this. So right now we can see under SRC folder, the more packages have been created. One is for page objects, one is for test suites, and one is for utilities. Now my test suite contains my test cases. Page object contains all the Java files. So let me run one of these test cases. So let me give a walkthrough as well. So in this register user, these are the steps. So my first step is entering the URL. My second step is I'm clicking on register hyperlink. Then I'm filling the register form with all these details: customer name, last name, address, city, state, and all these details. And then I'm clicking on register button. That's the flow. So in order to execute the test case, right click on the test case, run as, select test-ng test. So we can see the URL is launched. Then there was a hyperlink which was clicked. The details were entered. We can see the status. It's passed. So this URL was entered. All these details were entered in the register form, and then register button was clicked. So this is how we execute Selenium Java test cases. So from ConformIQ, this SRC folder will be created. All we need to do is just copy paste this SRC folder in your Java project in Eclipse and then execute it. Thank you.